Thermoregulation in Meerkats by Joyce Reddy. Homeostasis is the tendency of an organism or a cell to regulate its internal conditions, usually by a system or feedback controls, so as to stabilize health and functioning regardless of the outside changing conditions. Homeostasis is basically the balance which is needed for an organism to survive. The homeostatic system which I have chosen to concentrate on for meerkats is thermoregulation. Thermoregulation is the process that allows the human body to maintain its core internal temperature. The state of having an even internal temperature is called homeostasis. All the thermoregulation mechanisms are designed to return the body to homeostasis. This basically means that it has to be able to balance the hot and the cold to give the body the temperature which it needs to be able to function. The meerkats live in the Kalahari deserts in South Africa, where temperatures can range from around 46 to negative 12 degrees Celsius, which makes thermoregulation very difficult for these animals. However, these meerkats have some physical adaptations which allow the meerkats to keep their thermoregulation at a normal level, as mammals have an average body temperature of around 35 to 39 degrees Celsius. This temperature is required to keep the animal going and to help it to survive, as this is the required temperature for the enzymes in its body to keep working. And if the body temperature rises or drops below this average, then this can cause the enzymes to denature and can stop the animal's bodily functions from working. Meerkats living in the Kalahari Desert have a 40% less metabolic rate than any animal not living in the Kalahari Desert, which means that it can survive with less food and water. However, this also means that they need to be able to control their body temperature, as the Kalahari Desert can put animals in high chance of overheating, which means that the meerkats need to be able to regulate their body temperature efficiently. Their body size is an advantage for these animals as they are able to lose and gain body heat fast. Meerkats have a dark-skinned belly area which only has a very thin layer of fur that allows the meerkat to heat up by lying on its back in the hot sun. They can also use their stomach to lie on a cool rock and to cool down and regulate their body temperature. A behavioral adaptation which meerkats have acquired to help them handle the changing temperatures of the Kalahari Desert is the burrows which they make, which help them during the hot days so they can go inside and stay away from the hot sun, which helps them to keep cool during the hot days. And during the winter nights or during winter when it's really cold, they can all huddle up together inside these burrows, which can keep them warm. The diet of a meerkat will generally consist of bugs or tree roots. However, they are also able to eat small mammals such as rats and small birds. This helps them fulfill their water requirements, as it is very hard to find water in the vast Kalahari Desert. This also means that they are able to regulate their temperature, as the protein helps the enzymes to work. The majority of meerkats will sit up on their back feet, as this is good for them to see predators. However, this is also good for them to cool down and regulate their body temperature, as it means that there is less surface area of their body which is being hit by the hot sun, and means that there is more surface area to catch the cold wind and cool them down. Meerkats' fur is also a great way that they thermoregulate, as this fur can conduct heat very well, which means that meerkats do not need to sweat. However, the fur is not very good at regulating the temperature in cold conditions, which is mainly at night or during the winter months. The hypothalamus is the part of the brain which is responsible for hormone production. This part is mainly responsible for homeostasis, which basically means that it's responsible for keeping the whole body in balance. This part of the brain releases hormones into the areas so that the main homeostatic systems can remain in balance. The hypothalamus is able to know the body temperature by receiving input from two sets of thermoreceptors. One is used to check the temperature of the blood as it passes through the brain, and the other is used to monitor the external temperatures, so that the brain is able to send out the correct instructions so that the temperature in the body can be balanced. This is the negative feedback loop for a meerkat's thermoregulation. This shows that if the body temperature of a meerkat goes too low, then the hypothalamus sends the instructions down for the fur on the meerkat's back to lay flat all over the body. This causes the meerkat to heat up and regulates its temperature. This also shows that if the meerkat gets too hot and the body temperature rises, then the hypothalamus sends down the instructions for the fur to stand up, which allows airflow through the fur and means that the meerkat is able to cool down, and this also regulates the body temperature and helps the meerkat's thermoregulation to remain balanced and in homeostasis.